Oh, there's even more stairs. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Floorboards creak. What's this? What's this? Postcard. Why? Why do I have a postcard? The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Midtown traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of the skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. Postcards prepaid. Production schedule! Yeah! Okay, we will look at that. I will not forget. Is this person I was talking to? This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello. I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on the throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
What is Malilus? What? I don't know what she called it.
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She passed the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
I didn't knock on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Are you not the person that I yelled at through this pipe? Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a Novelty Dicemaker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
No.
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Maybe. I'm not really sure why I'm here. I was looking for something else. Sure, I like role-playing games and dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set.
Of course it is.
Unless you want something really unusual.
Ooh.
Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly. No falsehoods are present. She's a Novelty Dicemaker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How'd you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Aww.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Some of them do.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Alright, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
The Whirl Untethered setting. You have any cursed dice? Tell me about your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
I'm a star myself, a superstar, and superstars don't care about money.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your magnetic personality. 10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
Do magnetic dice roll properly?
It's true. Magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do.
Alright, let me think about what other things you have.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
What about cursed dice?
What do you mean by cursed?
Cursed as my life.
Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed die.
Oh, I like that idea. Okay, let me think about it.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
What about the we're all untethered setting?
Ah, yes. Fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The we're all untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motives of ice and death. And loss, of course.
Ice, death, loss. Sounds like you.
I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice, and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
What's 7 role-playing dice? What is standard role-playing dice?
It's an icositetrahedron, a 24-sided die that can produce results for 2-sided, 3-sided, 4-sided, 6-sided, and 12-sided die with a single roll. Technically, you can also use it for many other sizes, but you may need to reroll results.
Loving it. So nifty.
Why do you cast it in resin?
Untreated bone is porous and prone to chipping. Cast it in something hard like resin though, and voila, it's perfect.
Let me pick a different one.
Maybe you have some other ideas for dice?
What about a very regular die?
A normal die? I'm a Novelty Dicemaker. I don't make normal dice.
What do you do then?
Polyhedral dice. Dice that have more than 4 sides. Octahedrons, trapezohedrons, dodecahedrons. But also barrel dice and teetotum bowls. Come on now, be a little creative.
I really like the idea of cursed dice.
What do you mean by
cursed is my life?
Right. How about I surprise you?
I am not gonna have
Come back in 8 hours with 7 real, and I'll give you your cursed
deal.
See you in 8 hours then.
Deal.
Is there anything else?
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Oh, where are we?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
She nods as the wind howls from the furnace shaft above. How do you explain what happened to the companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
Palisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with malicious entities.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
She raises her eyebrows. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers. She has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time. Don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. Let's do the first one.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Wait, the whirling is part of the doomed commercial area?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project.
The whirling isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers have trouble paying bills. I mean, it's a separate building. Malicious energies can't reach that far.
And then there is me.
She looks at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Blaisance thinks you're the source of it, a malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I think it might be you that's causing this, and narrow your eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see there's no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring.
She pinches the root of her nose.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
Yeah.
Blaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her.
Why hasn't her business failed? Shivers. I need to put points into Shivers. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else left.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
There used to be a hair salon here.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
Customers should have been more open-minded. Would never let anyone androgynous touch my hair. Yeah.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Who was Artemtep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
Her eyes narrow in the dim light. He's sort of the king around here. He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window, her face reflecting back in the dark.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
Huh. What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff medias. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Okay, what's a snuff milieu?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims.
The frick?
Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Thanks.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
She lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
I found creepy mannequins?
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists?
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Wow. Insects don't have brains or feelings. They got what they deserved. Glad someone took care of the little guys that like insects.
Really? Anyway.
She looks at the windowsill where a dead fly is lying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
Aww. What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
Wow. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What do the transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them?
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of memory lights up her face.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean, what happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
She's right. Showing up to work on time is important.
Showing up to work on time is incredibly hard. Oh, the project looked great. They should have just tried it harder. They had everything they needed to succeed.
Still, not everyone is going to make it. That's the nature of the game.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
The taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Okay, tell me.
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Frit as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes, as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. Didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Not solemnly. It's the market doing its job. I'm sure the bear is doing its best. The bear was scary. The bear is doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
What do you mean?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion?
Megatherion. A mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs mostly.
The horrific necktie tightens around your neck, strangely excited. But it doesn't feel particularly fun this time around.
Grab your necktie and mumble, "Not now, you beast."
What?
You ever feel like your vision beast is trying to blackmail the fun out of you?
No, officer. I don't have a vision beast. Normal people don't have vision beasts. Only drug-addled madmen like the taxidermist do.
That's a hypothetical question. Of course I don't. I'm a normal person and I don't have vision beast. What about horrific neckties? Do normal people have horrific neckties?
Neckties? I guess they do sometimes, officer. But I don't understand how it's relevant to our discussion.
Her eyes move to the piss-colored cloth tied around your neck.
Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I'm just wondering about the intercom that doesn't work.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusky skin.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So the doorbell with the empty name card is yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
And the Whirling Rags isn't even part of the same building complex.
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom. Albeit, I doubt that anyone responds.
No one does.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
That's in debate. I saw East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice? Don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, fluorography, trick-track, especially pinball.
Pinball's a...
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
A really strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years.
She looks like she doesn't really believe you.
Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
Well, Kim said it was some sort of rare electrical anomaly?
A prank is more likely, no? Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
She shakes her head. I got some other questions.
Sure, I'm listening.
I have more questions about the intercom?
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work, but sure.
Okay,
what do you want?
I guess I
Sure.
don't.
I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
What do you know about the hanging behind the whirling rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
You never took your eyes off your work to look out the window.
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Okay.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Oh, I gotta do that. Can I put a point in the sugars? No. I'll have to come back. Might as well try it.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Start taking off your clothes? You need to connect? Jesus.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
The dice maker stares at you while you start to fuss with your pants.
Officer!
The lieutenant exclaims sharply, "The zipper is stuck as it just mirrors it hot in here. I'm trying to lower my body temperature. It's part of a special technique I have."
And what technique is that?
He squints at you, a little astonished at what she's hearing. You still haven't gotten your zipper open. Why is that the first thing you go for? Okay. I'm not going to pursue this.
Undressing in a stranger's place of business? Yes, it was an unbelievably bad idea.
She trembles as if trying to shake it off.
Miss, I apologize for my colleague's behavior. He's still recovering from an unusual medical episode.
What the hell?
That doesn't really excuse it, does it?
No, it doesn't. Leave.
Some kind of superstar.
Take off your jacket or something, jeez.
They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the ranks of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this, you say, "Fuck off and die," in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists or prime ministers or prophets. And you're the first one.
Oh, learning cap for suggestion, visual calculus, electrochemistry, and composure. Lose logic. The price of self-delusion. Wow. Oh. What else do I need to do? Fine. I thought I didn't have enough points. Interesting. Okay, but I had enough. This is 64 out of 100. Oh, maybe I had one. I wasn't paying attention. Oh well, whatever. Whatever! It still wouldn't have been enough to... Okay, let's just go back downstairs. Let's go back in here and put this in.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press play.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good evening, Fortress Accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What is the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Oh, the glowing thing I put in.
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
I believe so, yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved. You should ask her for a hint.
I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
It's my birthday. This is the police. Please open this thing.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Great.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
It's my birthday?
Still no.
I'm sorry, I don't know it.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Great.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up, sooner or later.
Okay.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
You have any other information on this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
Wow, so conceptual. And what's this interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
No. Are you a machine or are you alive?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
What do you mean she repeats passwords? Okay, where are you? How do you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Yeah, don't you get lonely?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident.
Okay, let me try.
Yes,
She repeats passwords.
they are merely cautious. It's my job to protect the filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian Station.
Okay.
Now, please tell me if there's thank you and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering.
What does print do?
Nothing happens.
Okay. So we're missing a password. Is there anything on here?
Your flashlight slides over. Some of the writing has faded with age. The handwriting, the full text.
No. How about over here?
This old fire diagram, the whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic.
Okay. So somewhere I gotta find a password. And I don't think I can get that thing open, and we were all through here, so let me go back to the bookstore. Let me do that instead. The store's closed. Come back tomorrow, so I can't get to her. I was thinking I could get to her. Alright, never mind, we're leaving. Alright. Oh, we never talked to the guys in the whirling. I never did that. Well, I wonder if they're still there. Wait, go back. Go back in the door. Can you go back? Can we go back in the door? Oh my god. Okay. Well. Frick. Oh, they're still here. I forgot all about these guys. What happened here? What's this? It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. There's a disco ball going on. Okay, they're still here. Good, because I was very concerned. Okay. Alright, let me save before I talk to these people. Ooh, there's money over here. I doubt it's 10 money. Photos of men in overalls toting guns and Union placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside?
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
It's not time yet. Squint?
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
Okay, apparently it's not time yet. Revert your gaze. Weird. Alright, let's talk to this person. I'm gonna shine my flashlight in your face.
This is where you say your bit.
Broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can. Okay.
He's used to giving orders and having them obeyed immediately. You should not indulge him.
Cool.
Detective.
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you.
Precinct 57's finest scans the room, leaving the speaking to you. He trusts you. Maybe against his better judgment, but he does.
Don't say anything yet?
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
The chatter is too inane to reach your ears. Raise your chin and gaze into the distance like a prince.
What, is he fucking kidding? This guy high or something?
The little guy looks at his mates in disbelief.
Hey, asshole, up here. We're talking to you.
We're looking for Titus Hardie.
The lieutenant turns to the broad-shouldered man at the end of the table. Yeah, let's talk about your attitude.
Wow. The RCM sent us some big dick cops.
Real big dick cops. Look at them. Reckless. Swinging in the wind.
Yeah, look at the big dick on that cop. Can't tell a dick that big what to do.
Must be something in the water in Jamrock.
Yeah, gave him real nice big dicks.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's like, this is starting to sound like it's going the other direction.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Oh, you're offering helpful advice?
These guys are so macho, they're ready to confess to first-degree murder. Ask if it was them.
Scan the room first.
No. I's here. You got business with my boys. You got business with me.
He understood what you were doing, taking inventory of them. Now watch the other guys fuck it up by falling out of line.
Yeah! You fuck with the Hardie boys, you fuck with Titus Hardie!
Scrawny rat-faced man, 2 teeth missing in the front.
Yes, falling out of line to please him. This is the best kind. And now this guy is going to...
Relax, Dennis. No one is fucking you yet.
The 40-something man from the corner with a plectrum hanging from his neck.
use it to take a dig at his friend. Floodgates open.
Yeah, Dennis, calm down. No one's fucking you, you stupid fuck.
Blonde man in his 30s.
Let Dennis enjoy his fucking, man. We don't mind.
You notice gang tattoos. The man must be either Mesk or... oh gosh. Sarah Mizerian.
This one knows how to keep things going. He's a hothead, but not one to be taken lightly. The last one is a bit of a black sheep.
Yeah, you're not even being fucked, Dennis.
Easy, fellas. We got company. Let's see what brings the cop around.
Too late. You already got a pretty good picture of these guys. You can use this.
What for?
You could take another look at the tracks in the yard. See if they fit with the character's hair. It could be incriminating.
Oh. I'll come back. I'll go take a look at the tracks in the yard. Oh. There's someone up there. Okay, let me save. And I'm gonna do something. Oh, where are you going?
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots.
Oh, I counted
Anywhere
them.
from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Okay, I know my visual calculus should be higher. Okay, I thought it should be higher. I guess not. Get rid of this. No, put that on. We're in the dark.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work. Wow, still not doing it. You're bad at this.
Seems really important and I can't read them.
Don't beat yourself down. Neither can I. We'll have another look later.
They're worker boots tracks.
Noted.
My visual calculus really should be higher.
In the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
Oh, this thing is hurting my visual calculus. But, okay, so are the guys gonna be there tomorrow? If I stop it, then what happens? Ooh, okay. Aha!
8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. Where else have we seen a gang of men in work boots? That's right. The Hardie boys in the mess hall of whirling in rags.
Go over them one by one.
1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46. Just like Titus was wearing in his booth. This is the big dick. Titus Hardie. The one with the bald cap on his head.
Continue. Oh, I guess let's do this one.
Is it? They didn't even bother to change boots. Putting them on the scene is easy. Maybe even too easy. 2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. Either the blonde muscular guy, Glenn, or the young guy with a plectrum around his neck. 3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 43. The inked banger, perhaps. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46. Theo, the old smoker. You think you even see a tiny fleck of cigarette ash inside the print.
What else?
5. Another standard work boot. Reinforced toes. Number 44. Same as before. Either the musician, Eugene, or the muscle-bound blonde, Glenn. 6. Light as air. Same make of boot. But number 41. Small like a rat. Shanky.
I should have gotten this earlier.
Better late than never, detective. The whole world is dark and the tracks burn in it with strange beauty.
Count the rest.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. The imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms. Fat Angus. Carrying something?
And the last one?
8. Another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole. The right sole is smoother, more worn. Curious. A missing 8th Hardie boy.
7 sets of tracks, right? The Hardie boys were here.
The lieutenant has been tracking your eye movements. There's 8, actually.
That's all? Interesting. Then one of them seems to be missing. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Note to self. This would be a good question to ask Titus. Where's the 8th man? A leader like Titus doesn't let one of his guys out of sight easily, especially at a time like this.
A light step, number 41 shoe.
I'm guessing that's the skinny Hardie boy. The one with his front teeth missing.
Yeah, I think so.
I could still be wrong, but I'm probably not.
Heavy one, 200 kilogram imprint.
200? This could be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up. Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built armored man. Maybe it was a fat Hardie boy, the one sitting in the middle.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Probably yes. This would also fit with the victim being dead from a previous gunshot wound. They had to carry him, because he could no longer walk. Is there anything else that's noteworthy here?
An aberration, one sole smoother than the other.
Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the missing Hardie boy. Wonder who he is.
Oh, this one's easy. Way too easy. It's a driver.
A driver would wear down their right shoe before he left. Accelerator's on the right. And there's that abandoned lorry cabin we found.
With a piece of sandpaper glued to the throttle.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses as his eyes light up with excitement.
Which means that the missing lady driver was also present at the lynching? That's it. She's the Old Soul.
First the drug smuggling, now this. How deep does this go?
Now we know who's the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardie and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
I think the entire union is involved. Maybe even all of Martinez. Look around suspiciously. Those jerks, definitely. The lady driver could have kept the drug trade a secret. It would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make assumptions.
Understood. We should still go and see what Titus Hardie has got to say on the matter. This might throw them off, work in our advantage. So what else?
How old do you think these tracks are?
A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
How do you know?
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do you think happened?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
But we know the victim had a bullet in his head. A more precise way to put it is, it was made to look like a lynching.
To be purposefully misleading.
By these tracks? Yes.
Alright, I guess we've gone through all of it. Let's go back inside and hope that they haven't left, because it's really late. And I've been running around and not paying attention to the time, and I still have the crowbar.